Get them bought into whatever it is that you want to. Then on the back end, you can sell the monthly recurring.
I think there's a way to go really deep with the select few and go really wide with a lot. So I'd still feel called to help a lot of people.
What are you gonna save that up to invest in real estate and make 3% a year? Or you invest that back in attention, which 6 months from now is already gonna give you 100% ROI.
If you took away all my Instagram followers, all YouTube, all my emails, I couldn't contact
Okay,
a
so no
previous
audience.
client. Dude, this is the framework. If you go after a niche that has money and has a pain point you can solve, you will never be broke if you can sell. Grayson, bro, let me move into your garage, bro. I'll close deals for you.
Let me close deals for you.
If I've got, an extra 5 grand, 10, 20 grand, I would rather think 6 months out. Like right now, what's on my mind, I'll just tell you too, is like, I launched like the follower ad thing. When was that? Like 14 months ago, 15 months ago?
Yep.
And it's like, the worst thing that we could do is have something low barrier to entry, super easy to copy, right? And
No moat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you
it's
have
like
no moat.
no moat.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's something that I can do that takes a long time, is
Really
hard to do,
Yeah.
and no one else is willing to put in the work?
Yep.
YouTube.
YouTube,
In a VSL.
content,
Yeah.
YouTube,
Yeah.
just the whole funnel.
Long form, yeah. So long form plus 3 years of
Yeah.
consistency.
That's a long time.
And
that's
one other thing is spend a freaking crap ton of money on ads.
Yeah, that's anybody that like pops or sprouts a coaching business out of nowhere, and then they like, a lot of people put all of their value into the funnel. Like maybe yours was in the beginning, like the IG growth funnel is mine.
Yeah.
And then someone comes along and makes the same ad, and it's like, well, I didn't have any moat around my business.
Yeah.
Like there's no security. There's no like hard stuff that no one, anybody can come in and just copy it. But maybe the YouTube funnel.
No,
But
100%.
Also just the product.
Yeah.
Like if you could put 10,000 hours into your product,
Yeah.
no one's willing to do that.
100%.
People just want to sell.
Dude, and like what I've realized is most of the new clients we're getting are from seeing a case study. I think we've gotten like 3 referrals this month too. And so that's what people can't copy.
Yeah, case
It's like
studies.
case studies. Yeah.
Testimonials.
And testimonials, good culture. And that's why I brought Ethan on to be able to take that to the next level.
Yeah.
And I'll admit, that's like one thing I did struggle with early on. Like when we first launched, we definitely got people results, but like Dan talks about this. What is it, like the different models? Like there's creator, consultant.
Yeah.
And he's like, do you like one-to-one? Do you like one-to-many?
Yeah.
I really like one-to-many. Like I thrive whenever I load into Zoom and there's like 40 people.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily love when it's just like one person,
Yeah.
back to back to back to back. By the third call, I'm
Then
like,
your impact's
bro.
not spread across a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Like if you say something valuable on a one-on-one call, great.
Yeah.
One person got value out of it. But if you have a group you can spread the value across everybody.
Yep.
But I know Talking More talks a lot about like most group coaching is like a queue of people waiting in line, and they just get their question answered. Next person up, get their question answered. So you have to figure out how to like build a real community of people that like, even if you didn't enter the Zoom call as a coach, you still have people that like they would come on, they chat, they do that, right? That's what the biggest realization that I've had just literally in the last week is like we've been stacking the MRR. Like, hey, you come in on monthly recurring payments, and then they get a ton of value up front, but they're not bought in.
Yeah.
Whereas like if you sell a pay in full up front, and even Hormozy talked about this, but sometimes you have to like learn the lesson yourself instead of like, it's hard to like just listen to someone and take their word for it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to like learn the lesson yourself. And so I've been learning like you have to sell an upfront outcome, get them bought into whatever it is that you want to. In my case, it's a community.
Yeah.
And then once they're bought in and they're like held accountable, then on the back end, you can sell the monthly recurring.
Dude, that's exactly what I did with both offers. So I changed everything when I first started. Like my first offer was Kingdom Coach. That was basically B2C beginner coaches that wanted to start and get to a full-time income.
Yeah.
And that was a year-long program, which is nuts. Like that's a long time.
That's a long, so you let people in for 12 months.
12 months.
Holy crap. So they paid up front.
Paid up front
or some payment plans?
a split pay.
Okay.
Payment plans. And then they would just like get access
year.
for a year, bro.
And is everybody out of there now? Or something?
Yeah. So now what I'm doing is I truly think like 90 days is the best. Like,
Okay.
I know some people do like 16 weeks. My favorite is 90 days.
Really?
And at the end of the 90 days, so ideally they pay in full or do a 3-pay, 2-pay, so only options.
Yep.
And then after that 90 days is up, Ethan has a tracker that says, okay, they're supposed to get out of the community, and then he sets up a 1-to-1 and then sells them into an MRR.
Yep.
Yeah.
And have you had success selling them?
Yeah. So I would say, I don't know the exact number, probably like 35 to 40% stay on. And then there's an upgrade too. So there's like kind of, I think Dan told me this too. Yeah. So there's ascension, retention, and then just leave.
The retaining people is one of the hardest things that nobody.
The worst thing is like weekly MRR with people that suck.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I made that mistake too.
Yeah, and Hormozy talks about it too. He was like, he had a whole, because at Gym Launch, their offer was they had like a painful option, but it was 16 weeks, $1,000 a week for 16 weeks.
Yeah.
And they said they had a whole department of like 6 people in charge of churn. They had a churn department.
See, bro.
And he said that he never disclosed their actual like churn numbers, but they had he hired 6 people full time. It was $100,000 a month in salary, or maybe it was like more than 6. 'Cause that's a lot of money in salary. Like, and then the churn rate didn't change, so it stayed the exact same. Fired the whole department, added $100,000 in profit a month back to the business, and it's like it just proves the point that you have to sell upfront, program, then recurring on the back end.
Yep.
It's like the model.
100%.
It's like I don't know. Maybe some people with like an amazing product can sell monthly recurring on the front end.
Yeah.
But like even agencies, bro. Like the average agency retention is like 3 weeks probably. Most people say it's like, oh, like 3 months is the minimum. We have a contract, bro. The average agency is probably retaining someone for like 2 months.
100%.
Which is why with Chris, when we launched his offer, it was like, all right, $5K up front, or even like I'm hoping to get him like $10K up front. Charge it all up front.
Yep.
And if they want the ongoing management, you can pay a retainer fee. But you have to sell up front.
Dude, like literally, because what people will do on the weekly pay, if they come in from nowhere, right? They come in, they go through your course, and then they're like, oh, this wasn't what I thought it was. I don't know why people have that response. And then they'll leave and then go pay someone else $10K.
Exactly.
So it's like,
that's exactly. Yeah.
So it's like, you might as well, and then 2, whenever they pay that amount, I'm convinced you could have the exact same course, the exact same.
But they'll get results.
Why?
Because they're committed.
Because they freaking just put 10 grand into it.
Yeah.
And they have to get results now.
That's exactly what it is, bro. It's like if you sell someone on an upfront, and like I've done this before, so it's like I'm learning from my own mistakes. Obviously, like this isn't me saying, oh, I would never do this. Like this is exactly what I did. It's like I think 1-to-1. I think 1-to-1 you can sell weekly, especially if it's like 800 a week or 1,000 a week. I think you can sell weekly payments because there's ongoing coaching call. But and like the churn, maybe the 1 or 2%. Like it'd be really low as long as you sign up the right people.
Yeah.
But in a group program, they come in, they get all of the value up front. Like they're paying. The thing is, in a group program, they're paying for an outcome, not time.
Yeah.
Like if you can deliver, let's say that the outcome that they want is 30 grand a month. If you can deliver that outcome in 2 weeks, why would they pay for 6 months?
Yep.
So if you can just sell the outcome and not the time frame, like you said, 90 days is perfect.
Yeah.
It could be 10 days. It just like, what do you think is the perfect amount of time
Yeah.
for them to come in and get results? If 90 days is it, you sell 10K cash up front, whatever the program cost is. And then after they got the outcome, it's not even about the next outcome. It's about now they're bought into this community.
Yep.
They're bought into the group coaching calls. They're bought into the coach. They're bought into like, they have little friends. Like people in my group are like best friends.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's like, if you can build a community like that, that's the goal, I think.
Dude.
But
No, that's so good. It just gave me an idea. I have this like couple like online entrepreneur like Bible study thing, and they break into like small groups, and that's why people go back. I just gave me an idea to even add that in to create that collaboration. So it's like live events do that, and then also like small individual masterminds like within the community.
Yeah, bro. Live events changed
Everything.
my whole business.
Yeah,
bro.
That
Like
one looks so dope, bro. I wish I could have come.
I know. I think I was trying to get you to come see it.
Yeah.
We had 25 people fly out. 2 people never been to America, like ever, from South Africa to Germany. And they flew into Arizona.
That's a long
First
flight.
time long flight. But those people, like, dude, I could have dropped. I think I did drop like 6. I was probably down 6K in the event, 6 or 8K. But probably like 20 and 25 are going to retain.
Yep.
Like,
Oh yeah.
and they're gonna go to the next one.
Yep.
And it's like, dude, if you can do that, if you can get into like the events, bro,
Yeah.
it's a game changer.
Game changer.
It changes
100%.
everything. Like
Yeah.
a lot of those people are like best friends.
Yeah.
Like they hang out on their own.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
And it's like because of something that we built. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's incredible. Dude, so like we were kind of talking about this before we hit record, but I had to stop as you were talking a second ago about Alex Mosey and the department about retention.
Yeah.
Is with a consulting model, I was even talking to someone else about this. You get like high profit, high return on investment in the sense of like lifestyle.
Yes.
Like you literally travel, live whatever life you want. And I'm not saying it's easier, but you get there quicker. The other route is the one that me and you were talking about, both wanting to go down. In order to get there, we have to become higher level people.
Yeah. Well, it's like the question is like, you can have the ease in 6 months. That you can have the easy lifestyle. Well,
Yeah.
you can have like a 7 out of 10 easy lifestyle in 6 months if you want to build a 50,000 a month consulting business, coach one-on-one, work 20, 30 hours a week.
Yep.
But if you want to have an easy life 10 out of 10, like you got to go Hormozy mode for like 6 years.
Yeah.
And then sell your business for 30 million. And now it's just like you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So it's honestly like it's not one way is better than the other. It's like just like working a 9 to 5 is not better.
Yeah.
Or running a business isn't always better than working a 9 to 5. Like
Yeah.
some people like just are meant for that, and that's
Yeah.
great. But it's just a decision you have to make.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you want to go balls to the wall for 5, 6 years?
Yeah.
Probably not have much of a life. Like Hormozy and Layla literally like said they hated their lives.
Yeah.
They shut down a 30 million a year coaching business because they hated it. And so it's like you could either do that, do the really hard thing, but now as people, they're like whole other level. They become like new people.
Yeah.
But
100%.
you're in the decision making process right now.
Yeah.
Of like if that's
Dude,
what you want to do.
It's like, bro.
I think I've decided. Maybe I'll share it for them. But
Yeah.
what do you think?
Dude, I think, yeah, it's like the question is, do you want to build something for you, or do we want to build something to impact other people? And my thought is
A lot of people.
A lot of people.
Yeah.
Do I want to go? I think there's a way to go really deep with the select few and go really wide with a lot. So I'd still feel called to help a lot of people, right? I think there's models out there that don't help you do that. And it's like, I don't want to sacrifice that just to reap the benefits of high profit. And I just love the idea of, I was at the gym today. This has only happened to me a few times. I bet you've had it happen too. But literally, guy walks up to me. Dude, we're in the middle of nowhere out here in Texas, bro. Like,
We're in the middle of nowhere, bro.
nowhere, bro.
This like, bro, I drove an hour, and it's like we pull up and we're like, "There's no way this is his house."
No.
And then you're outside like, "Oh no, this is my house." And like,
Yeah.
Probably pulled up with an
Wrong
AR in your
address
hand.
or something. Yeah. Dude, yeah. Dude, yeah, and I was at a gym 10 minutes from here. So you know how small that gym is? And a dude walks up to me and was like, bro, you're Brandon Forbes. This morning.
Yeah.
I was like, that's never happened. I go to this
Yeah.
gym all the time. And I was like, yeah, dude, like, how do you know me? He's like, I follow you on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, bro, that's such a cool feeling. Not in the sense of like, oh, people know me. It's more so, he was like, bro, I've been watching your YouTube channel. Like, you've helped me so much.
Yeah.
That's worth it. And he's never paid me $1.
Boom. Yeah.
So
So you think? What was your decision? Like what?
that was a long way of telling you.
You didn't get back to like. Are you gonna go like build a $100 million a year coaching business, or and like not see your kid for 5 years, or,
Dude.
or are you gonna like?
Again, like we were talking about it before, I think that is like a marketing strategy where people think, or maybe it's just like a false belief where option A is you build this thing, or B is you sell your soul and get to 100 million. I got to see Brooke do that in a way that is sustainable. The key, I think, is having boundaries and sticking to a strict schedule. And she talked about this a lot. Putting in your hours into things that have the greatest ROI.
Yeah.
So like the things she did in 3 days, most entrepreneurs don't do in 3 months. So she worked freaking hard as crap in 3 days, produced 3 months worth of content and stuff that most people could never do. So like
So,
Go ahead.
but it did take her longer, right? So
it did
like
take longer, yeah.
So like Hormozy got to, what is it, like 30 or 40 mil in 5 years.
That's
And
crazy,
she's got
bro.
to, what is she worth, 100 mil probably?
They'll probably do, I don't know, probably like 50 to 70 this year.
Okay, so like 50 mil, which is
Yeah.
close to Hormozy, but it took her
Yeah.
12 years. So it's like, but she's going to be running the same business and compounding it month over month for the for the rest of her life probably. Versus Hormozy, where, I mean, he literally built like an unsustainable business, but it was great
Yeah.
for the short term.
Yeah.
It's like, I guess that's also just like a decision. Like, do you want to build
Yeah.
for 10 years the same thing? Or do you want to go build one thing, sell it, move on?
Dude, so I guess one thing that's different about the way I look at it, I think there's and I know you believe as well, is like, I think we have I did a podcast with someone before, and he was talking about Christianity being a disadvantage to business. I actually think it's an advantage because in our own strength, right? 30 million could take 3 years. Mm-hmm. It could take 6 years, 10 years. But if the Lord called us to it, I feel like in his timing, we'll be able to get up there one day and say, bro, here's what I did, but I would be lying if I didn't tell you the real reason I got here is because God got me here. You know what I mean? So I do think there's a supernatural element to where if our heart is right with the Lord, and I'm working on this, bro. Like, I grew up so poor, and it's not all about the money, and our heart really is for impact. I think God could bless it. Like, you hear crazy stories of people like going viral, and then 2 months later they're a millionaire. I'm not saying that would be the answer, but if God said, let it happen, everything could change.
Yeah, and I guess we're looking at like people in our industry that have done it already.
Yeah.
But who's to say you can't do it differently?
Yeah.
Like, we're just looking at like, all right, here's what's possible because they did it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure I don't know if you've ever heard the story about the guy who like ran the sub 5 minute mile or sub.
Yeah.
And it was like nobody did it
Until he did.
and then
now
everybody
everyone
did
does
it.
it. Yeah.
Everybody does it.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe, I guess it's probably just a limiting belief. It definitely is a limiting belief. It's
Dude.
no question about it.
Yeah. So it's like limiting belief mixed with no one's done it.
Yeah.
So it's like,
No one's done it. Yeah. I mean, some people have, like, I guess Sam Evans did it, and he did 30. They were doing 30 million a year, and he built that in 3 years, I think.
Yeah.
Was it 3 or 5? I can't remember.
I don't know.
But he did it.
Short period.
But he also got burnt out.
Yeah.
But Sam, Hormozy, neither of them had God.
Mm-hmm.
At least they both publicly talked about the fact that
Yeah.
they're like pretty, not even agnostic, but just like atheists.
Mm-hmm.
And like
Yeah.
Hormozy talked about that in a pod. It's just like, I don't know how you did that without God, bro.
Yeah. No, for real, bro. And it's like, I think like including that into everything we do, the best we can. Bro, we're all humans, like nobody's perfect, but I do think we could have a different story because of it.
Yeah.
And like if we're here for the right reason. Just like we were talking earlier, like all these people like running ads.
Yeah.
Literally, I've seen people copy your exact ads.
Yeah.
Same for me, and it's like, bro, there's no way they're doing it for the right reason,
Yeah.
bro. Like they're like, oh, Grayson's running this ad, I can copy it and make money. No.
Yeah.
That's the thing. The ad is the easy part. Literally, go copy every single one of my ads in my ad library, hire a Fiverr editor, and launch it.
See what
You're not
happens.
going to make any money because like you don't know how to do the hard part.
Yeah.
Which is delivering value.
The moat.
The moat.
Yeah, dude. I made a post the other day. Well, I made 2 posts the other day. One was like, ads are the easiest part of your business.
Yep.
And everybody was like, no, it's not true. Facebook ads are hard to run. It's like, bro, go watch a YouTube video.
Yeah.
Run a Facebook ad. It's literally the easiest thing on planet Earth.
Literally.
And then the second post I made was like, I genuinely don't know how people do this without God or Jesus.
Yeah.
Because it's like, bro, whenever I'm sure you have this too.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you have these moments where you're just like anxious and you're worried and you're like, oh, is this going to work out? This new funnel, this new closer.
Yeah.
The second I take a step back and I'm just like, I just remember that Jesus died on the cross for me.
Yeah.
The battle's already won.
Yep.
It's like all of my anxiety gone.
Dude.
And I don't know how people do
Yeah.
life without that, like,
Yeah.
you know,
Bro,
really, like I genuinely don't know.
I have no clue. And dude, like people ask me a lot. I was on a group call the other day and this guy's like, when does like the scarcity mindset go away and like anxiety? And I was like, do you want me to be completely honest with you? And I was like, yeah. I was like, dude, I made, 150 or 185K last month and January, or what is it, November? Not January, November 1st. Yeah, whatever it was, November 1st. I was like, dude, I was literally sitting in my office, staring at my computer, wondering, am I going to lose everything? Like I went so deep into a rabbit hole. How many months do I have to live? Am I gonna have to sell my watch to like make payments on my ads? Like, am I screwed? Dude, none of that was even close. Like, bro, none of that
I
was
think
even
the same
close.
thing.
Yeah,
It's like we're naturally just flawed.
Yeah.
Like as humans.
Yeah.
Like we make more money than anybody I
I didn't know. Yeah.
I literally don't know
Yeah.
anybody my age. Well, I mean maybe a couple like internet guys, but still making
Yeah.
this amount of money. And it's like even at this level,
Yeah.
every day,
Yeah.
I have at least one moment where I'm like, oh shit, and then I'm like, wait, never mind, I got Jesus.
Yeah, dude. So
But-
it's like the Lord plus I've been doing this. Like even, dude, I hate to mention her so much, but Brooke taught us this. Mm-hmm. If you go to the worst case scenario, and then you just become okay with it. Mm-hmm. So it's like worst case scenario, my business gets blown to pieces. I get sued for something. I don't know what I could get sued for. I lose everything. I file bankruptcy, and I start over from scratch with like a W-2 job, closing deals for one of my clients. Am I okay?
I could go, yeah, you can go.
Yes, I'm okay.
Yeah.
So then it like helps me. I'm like, dude, I'm tripping.
If you got, you got your wife, I have my wife.
Yeah.
You got your kid now. You got God.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you need.
Yeah, literally.
Like, we could go sell online some other coaching
Yeah.
offer that's probably not as good as ours.
Grayson, bro, let me move into your garage, bro. I'll close deals for you.
Let me close deals for you. That's so
Yeah,
funny, bro.
so,
oh
dude.
man, the worst case scenario is never that bad, dog.
Yeah.
Especially if you got Jesus.
Yeah.
That's the worst case scenario. If Jesus somehow, this it wasn't true, that'd be the worst case.
Yeah,
but-
literally. So,
Oh man.
dude, I guess one last question, and I don't know time frame, like what we want to do, but
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you this. What is your thought process on ads? I'm curious, like
Writing
how,
them or what?
so,
I have one more question for you too.
okay,
So,
ads in general, like what do you think of ads? That would be my question. Very broad.
I think it's a good question though because we're going two different ways in terms of how you're building your business. Like you said, I'm guessing you're wanting to do like the longer term,
Yeah.
kind of like Brooke Castillo, where it's like you build a sustainable business, but you can still build a big business.
Yeah.
My thoughts on it are like, at least in my head, and I could be wrong. It's like I'm in a testing phase of it, but like I'm going all in on content.
Yeah.
So like organic, which like I hate organic when you start. Like the levels for me are like you start hyper niche ads.
Yep.
Maybe you go broader, but you're still running ads. And then the third level to me is like brand. Like Iman,
Yep.
Sam Evans, Hormozy, brand. Like I feel like eventually you go from ads, brand.
Yep.
And I think to get to like 10 million a year, I think it's going to be brand for me.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the cheapest way to do it. It's the hardest way to do it.
Yeah.
And it's the least predictable way to do it. But I think if anybody builds their brand consistently for like 5 years,
Yeah.
you'll get there.
Yeah. 100%.
So that's my thought process is like level one, hyper niche ads, dating coach for black men. Like that, like
Yeah, 100%,
niche,
yeah.
right? Niche ads. Second level, dating coach. Still running ads, many have a little bit of a
Yeah.
brand. Third level, brand. YouTube, content everywhere,
Yeah.
Across platforms.
100%.
That's my thoughts on
Yeah.
ads.
Yep.
I think ads are like a great tool for consistency, predictability. But I think if you want to get to like next level, I think you still run ads, but you have to have brand.
Yep.
What are your thoughts though?
Dude, I would say like it's hard to kind of say all the stuff, but step one, niche ads,
Yeah.
100%. Step two for me though, scale ads.
Okay.
So, and then, dude, that's what I'm moving into now. Like even with like having Reagan and starting a podcast, I'm about to start a podcast. I guess we're doing it right now. Not mine, but we're like more content, long form.
Yeah.
And then brand. But I think one thing, and I don't know if it's a better thing. I don't know if it's a pro or con. I think it's been a pro. And I'm not saying I'm the best by no means. Like, am I close to being the best? I will say this: most people that I ask how much they're spending on ads, I spend like 10 times more or 5 times more.
Yeah.
So for me, it's not even about I'm okay with taking less margin because I'm building like a moat of attention that I paid for
Yeah.
in that niche.
And also, like, after you pay your living expenses, what else are you gonna do with that cash that would get you a higher return?
Nothing.
Like, let's say your living expenses are $5,000 a month, 10 grand a month even,
Yeah.
and you make 30. like you have 20, let's say you spend 10 grand a month in your business, you have 10 grand a month profit, like what are you going to save that up to invest in real estate and make 3% a year?
Yeah.
Or you invest that back in attention, which 6 months from now is already going to give you 100% ROI.
So, I mean, I'm not talking nothing crazy. Like, I'm spending 30 to 40K per month. And then next step is take more of the profit and put it into what you're talking about, brand. So definitely starting a podcast, having a ton of different people on. 2 is more YouTube, long form. And
So do you see ads and brand working together?
100%.
You don't see just brand?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like
I see brand and retargeting ads.
Yeah.
That's at least, I think I can do organic well enough to build like, a 3 to 5 million subscriber YouTube channel in like the next 5 years.
Yeah.
And I think I could just run retargeting ads at that point towards the audience.
Let me say it this way. If I had an option of go viral and get 5 million YouTube subscribers or run ads, of course I would pick go viral. But
I don't know. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if I could get organic
it's
views,
free.
Yeah.
If
free
they're the
views.
same views.
Yeah. So you know how Alex says, oh, I spend 70K a month on organic, but it's way better than paid?
Yeah.
Well, you also have like freaking crazy story. You look like totally different than anyone I've ever seen on the internet. Like you're wearing Crocs. You're freaking ripped as crap.
Yeah.
Like you've got like a sick story.
Yeah.
And you went consistent in content because you had a freaking crazy amount of time because you made $100 million on exit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like you have to look at certain things and it's like, I do know this. I do know if I spend $1, I can get X back. I don't know. It's like the fear of the unknown. I don't know if I spend the next 5 years making content, what will happen.
Yeah.
So it's like I can control this one.
Yeah.
I can't really this one.
Yeah,
So it's like do both. And if this one takes off, then yeah, I would pull back on ads.
I think if you think about like you have a full, if this is attention, like this is the amount of attention you need, I think in the beginning, all of this is ads.
Yeah.
And then I think as you scale, as you keep getting larger, like the size is the same. You need more attention actually, but a lot of it eventually comes from
brand.
ads, brand, and then brand starts to make its way in.
Yeah.
Like Grant Cardone could turn off all of his ads now.
Yeah.
He basically built almost all of his audience through ads.
Yeah.
Or like Ty Lopez, all of his audience
Yeah.
through the Here in My Garage ad, right?
Yeah.
Like, but now he has the audience, and he could turn off ads at any moment and still make money.
100%.
So it's like I think
That's
over
how I
time,
see it.
it's like brand starts to creep in
Yeah.
because you have the attention.
Yeah.
So I guess it doesn't really matter how you get the attention. If you can get it organically,
Yeah.
great. Just most people can't.
Exactly.
It's just not consistent.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not willing to bet that I could. I would be like more apt to bet that I could pay for it.
Yeah. I mean, it's just.
And then if I get it, then shoot, heck yeah. If I could
Yeah.
get a million, followers on TikTok and
But I
Instagram,
think-
then yeah, I'd turn off.
Yeah, but I think the intention, like in order to get 1 million subscribers, it's not going to happen on accident.
Yeah,
Like
has to
the
be
intention
intentional, yeah.
has to be like super high. Like you can't make Loom style YouTube videos like
Yeah.
you and I have in the past, where it's like,
Yeah.
here's a Loom video. You're not going to get
Yeah.
1 million subscribers doing that. So like if you want that brand to take over more, you have to be so intentional
Yeah.
about it. Like massive media team putting out
Yeah.
you got to feed the content
Professional,
creation beast.
yeah.
Okay, last question.
Yep.
Worst case scenario happens. Brandon goes broke. He
Bro, that's
sells
a
his
great
house.
video. Brandon goes broke.
Brandon goes broke. Brandon Forbes exposed. Let's say Brandon. By the way, I feel like your name definitely has helped.
Dude.
Brandon Forbes.
Yeah,
for
maybe
sure.
so. Yeah.
For sure, it's helped. The Forbes.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's killer, dude.
Dang.
I'm gonna change my fucking last name.
Yeah, I never even thought about that. Yeah.
You go broke. What do? You're back at zero. What do you do? How quickly do you think you get back to 10K a month?
3 days.
That's what I think.
Like 1 day.
One day, 10K
Yeah.
payment.
Okay, so if you took away all my Instagram followers, all YouTube, all my emails, I couldn't contact
Okay,
a
so no
previous client
audience or
Yeah.
brand awareness.
or brand awareness, and maybe I had to switch niches. That I would spend. Let's say I had X amount of time to do it. I would spend 90% of it figuring out what I wanted to do, and 10% calling a couple people, and I'd close a couple people.
So,
Just
so you
like
think,
what
yeah.
niche, who has money. Dude, this is the framework. If you go after a niche that has money and has a pain point you can solve, you will never be broke if
Yeah.
you can sell
Yep.
and deliver. So, yeah, not long at all to get back to 10K.
Yeah, I think I genuinely, like, I want to try it at some point, but it's
Yeah.
hard to do when you already have like a brand.
Yeah, it's
Because you'd have to like go into like the roofing niche or something and like start
Yeah.
over. But I think if I started like a niche roofing Instagram account
Oh,
and I wanted to
gosh.
do like a consulting offer on how to build their brand as a roofing company,
bro.
I feel like I could probably get to 10K a month in like
Yeah.
5 days, maybe. I don't know. I did the dream of 50K a month agency. I built it in like 6 months.
Yeah.
Right, up to 50K a month. Like that's like most people's dream is like, if I
Yeah.
start an SMA,
Yeah.
I'll be financially free. Bro, I ended my agency. I did it for a full year
Yeah.
of running my agency at like a decently high level.
Yeah.
Like a year of like 50K a month, right? And at the end of that, I think I probably had 50 grand in my bank account.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's it.
Dude.
Like, that's it.
Yeah.
And now I get that in my bank account every single month.
Yeah.
Like, profit.
Yeah.
Every single month. So, like,
Let's go.
that's the difference between an agency and coaching.
Yeah,
Is
100%.
like, you can, actually stack profit in a coaching business.
What do you think?
But-
Because I know this is like a lot of your viewers were at Grayson 50K a month agency.
Yeah, a lot of them are agency.
I don't know if anyone's ever asked you this. Maybe you've tried to say it. What caused you to switch models, and like what was the hesitancy, if there was? I'm not sure. But I'm
Well,
just
you
thinking
caused
maybe,
me to switch models.
Well, maybe there's a couple of agency owners watching right now
Yeah.
who've been following your story, and maybe even mine, because I had an agency too. And they're like,
Yeah.
dude, I want to start a coaching business, and I've been thinking about it for 90 days. Why are they still thinking about it? Like, why don't they rip the Band-Aid off?
Well, if they have an agency and they've like, you're getting paid to learn skills, right? Like that's what an agency is. So
Yeah.
if you can like stack enough skills to have the credibility to launch a coaching offer, like you can't just like come
Launch
out,
a coaching
you can't come out of college and just like launch a
Yeah.
coaching offer. Like what are you going to coach on? Maybe like if you're jacked or something in
Yeah.
fitness, but like
Yeah.
still, like it's really hard to
Dude.
just like out of college launch
Yeah.
a coaching offer. And like I hate when people are like, can I, I want to launch one. And it's like I can't help you because you have nothing to coach on.
Yeah.
But if you have run an agency at like a decently high level, you've learned the skill of like sales, marketing, whatever it is, you're getting paid to learn skills.
Yeah.
Then if you want to stack that and like package it into a coaching offer, it's just like how credible do you want to be before you do that? Like that's kind of like how many skills do you want to stack before you launch a coaching offer?
Yeah.
That's like the question you have to answer.
Yeah.
And I think most people are just scared to do it because coaching seems so much harder to sell,
Yeah.
but it's not.
Dude,
People think- yeah.
coaching is way easier to sell, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Like,
Well, I think
don't
on
even
a
know
sales
how I
call-
would sell it.
I think on a sales call, agency sales are pretty easy to sell if you have a decent service, but it's impossible to retain people
Yeah.
unless you are like a systems people. The problem is most people start an agency, which is a systems business. Like that's the definition.
Yeah.
You're doing a service. You have to have insane systems.
Yeah.
You have to scale labor. Like it's hard.
Yeah.
And most people that start an agency are entrepreneurs. They're not
Yeah.
systems people.
Yep.
And so like if you're gonna start an agency, you got to partner or like bring on a systems person to do that.
Yeah.
Then great. But like most people who are like entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
launch a coaching offer because it's like their service delivery is your knowledge in your head, which
Yeah.
is way easier to deliver on.
Yep.
So
Dang, that's so good. I love that. So yeah, I think like what I took away from that was people stay stuck because they feel like they don't have enough skill, and they never take the leap because they think it's gonna be harder to sell.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you work with like all sorts of different coaches, not just B2B. Whereas I mostly work with B2B. Like, what do you see as like people don't want to launch it? Like, why not?
Yeah, I think ultimately, because I work mostly with B2B, like coaches that are already at least 5K per month, but like beginners, it's usually they don't feel like they have, it's all mindset.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like,
99%.
I mean B2B as in like I'm B2B, but then my clients are all almost B2B. So like
Yeah.
they're not selling B2C offers.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha, yeah.
Yeah. So
okay, yeah. So I think for the difference would be they just don't know that they have value. It's almost like an internal therapy session and of like,
telling them they're enough.
yeah, that you're
Yeah.
enough. Like people will pay you $5,000 to coach on dating. Really? Yes. Will your brother? Probably not. Will your cousin? Your homie from high school? No. But strangers on the internet will. Like our biggest fans, this is so crazy. Our biggest fans are people who follow us on social media who've never met us in real life. The guy at the gym this morning. Bro, I don't know that guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't know me. And my brother-in-law literally jokes about watching my content and scrolling past it. So it's like when you can get out of friends and family into like strangers on the internet, people will pay you. And that's the thing is people are so microscopic in their view of impact. So they come in and they're like, dude, no one would ever pay me. you're right. No one you know right now, probably. Maybe
Yeah.
a few. But people out there, the world is freaking massive, bro. People
Yeah.
will pay you. So that, and then, yeah, just like the skill part of like, I don't have anything to coach on. Then
Yeah.
go get skills.
And if you think about the psychology of like, let's say someone comes into your program and they're like, I don't know if I'm enough. I don't know if I have the credibility to coach on this. And it's like, you are probably not going to sell to your friends and family because they're, like you said, they're like, Brandon, I'm scrolling about your content, like mess around, right? But like, if you think about the psychology of the person that bought from you, they don't know who you are really. Like you just gathered their attention on the internet and then you sold them a product. And it's like, if you can do that to them, why wouldn't they be able to do that to random strangers on the internet
100%.
too? It's like they should have already overcome their limiting beliefs because they did it.
Yeah.
Like obviously your friends and family, like my friends and family, like they joke around like, oh, I'd never buy Grayson's course. And it's like, dude, I didn't even sell a course. But
Dude, my dad works for AT&T. And the first time I told him, I was like, dude, we made like $90,000 this month or whatever. I waited till I waited a while to mention it. And he's like a cowboy, bro. Like he lives even more out in the country than this. I'll never forget the look in his eyes when he looked at me. It was like this glazed over look.
yeah.
He was like, you're going to jail. It was like, bro, I don't know what you're talking about right now, but you're going to jail.
That's so
Like, there's
funny,
no
dude.
way you made 90 grand on the internet.
How did you get? Because you're in the middle of nowhere, bro. How did you get in the internet space?
I used to live in Frisco, and
Okay, so
then
that's
I
more
was
city.
at a church mentoring like people at the youth group, and Brooke's son went to church there.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and one of my friends got a job with her, and then I got a job working for him, and then he quit, and I moved up. And I was just shipping boxes at a long table like this, and she would just ship out thousands of members' books each month. She had like
Wow.
4,500 people paying her $297 a month. I would ship out every single one of those labels. I would put 4,500 labels on like books, and then I moved up to social. Dude, it was literally what it was kind of like what happened with you. Alex Ramosi captions were really cool. Back then, it was Gary Vee. He was like the first one to do captions, and Grant Cardone, and Brooke wasn't posting any content with captions on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, literally editing the captions in iMovie. That's how I got the job. And then I found out there was like a Vee.io.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
if you know about that, but like this janky website I found.
Yeah?
But yeah.
And it throws captions on there. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I would just throw captions on a bunch of coaches' videos.
Yeah.
That's literally what my agency was.
Oh yeah, me
We
too.
just edit videos.
That's basically what my agency was too. Okay, we'll end it in a second. But I never answered that. What is it different to have money? Honestly, it's just like I'll answer mine. I want to hear
Yeah.
your answer. But for me, it's the only difference with money is like I don't worry. That's pretty much it. Like I don't buy crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Like I have a house. It's like a small house. It's nice, but it's
Yeah.
not like crazy.
Yeah.
I have like a 2008 Chevy Trailblazer. that I
Really?
drive. Yeah.
Really, dude? I thought you had the white BMW.
What? Oh, it's Jeremy. Oh
No.
He has a white BMW.
You have a
He's
video-
an SUV.
You had a video with like the doors popping up.
Oh, that's we drove that in Miami.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, no,
okay.
we drove that in Miami. That's
Bro,
the i8.
okay, cool.
No,
Yeah.
So like I don't know. I don't really like spend that much money because like if you think
Yeah.
about the things that make you happy, it's like it's not. I don't know.
Dude, and you know what I've realized too is the amount of money we're making isn't. I'm not saying it's not enough to live crazy. The lifestyle is
It's
like,
not. I mean,
Yeah,
jet
it's
and
like-
stuff. It's not.
Yeah, so it's like, in order to have like a good amount of savings and like live a responsible life, like, it's not that much different, I guess is what I've realized.
Yeah, and you got to make a lot more money than you think.
A lot more than you think.
You got to make a lot more than you think. A lot of people think it's like, oh, I'm free after I make $50K a month. Dog, you got to make a lot more than that.
Yeah, a lot more.
You got to make a lot
Bro,
more.
it goes like that.
It goes
literally
quick.
Yeah.
No matter, even if you're like, I'm going to save every penny of this. First of all, you won't make money because you
Yeah.
don't have an abundance mindset. But second, it's like the money you do make, bro, it goes quick.
Like, dude, I'll have clients like they'll make like 10K in a month and like they've never had money before. So then what they'll do is like, bro, I'm gonna go get this like this Gucci bag and like this watch, and like 3 weeks later, they're like, bro, I don't have money to keep running my ads. Like, you're a moron. Like, that's the only thing I can say.
Yeah, dude, I'm like, it's so hard to keep money, bro.
Dude,
It's so hard to keep money.
yeah. Like, I really don't spend that much money. I think the most expensive thing is
The house.
house and then like watches.
I don't even like buy watches.
Yeah.
And I bought a house a long time ago, and I just Like
Yeah.
I mean, I get to keep a lot of money, but it's
Yeah.
still like, it's not as, I don't know, like even like 50K a month, like if you stack that in your bank account every month, like I guess maybe it's, if you think that 500 grand is a lot, then
Yeah.
yes, you get to keep a lot of money.
Yeah.
But if you don't think that's a lot of money, you don't get to keep a lot of money.
Think about it. Like 500 grand wouldn't have even bought this house.
Yeah.
It's like 500 grand, you could get like, what, 5 Teslas? Like the platinum ones or whatever.
Yeah.
That's like,
We probably sound like that Grant Cardone video. It's like, if you make 40, 50K a year, bro, you're
Bro,
a fucking.
how can you live on 35K a month? Like what? I spent that on my jet. No, yeah.
I understand. We'll end the pod here.
Yeah, last thing I'll say,
Yeah.
just about the money thing. I think someone told me this. It's 2 things. More leverage. You can hire more people, spend more money on ads, get more knowledge, buy more courses, get around more people, and then more options. So instead of me living in my rent house now, I'm living here. It's nicer. I'm still living in a house, right? And then the other thing is like, if I go travel, instead of staying at the La Quinta, I'm going to stay at
Four
the
Seasons.
Hilton.
Yeah.
Or Four Seasons. So it's like the same exact life experience. Instead of wearing a Rolex, I used to wear a Timex. So it's like everything's the same. It's just a little bit more upgraded. And where people go wrong is they upgrade their lifestyle in correspondence to their income. So they're making 50K a month, but they're still broke. But because they just, instead of buying $2,000 watch, they buy a 20.
Yeah, and the reality is you're going to spend 80% of your time in your office anyway.
Yeah.
Or like sitting at a computer.
Yeah.
So it's like all this money is like,
Yeah.
maybe not 80%. You know, obviously the goal is to spend less and less time. But
Like 80, dude. I spent like 90. I'm just kidding. No, yeah, I'm kidding.
But still, it's like, bro, at the end of the day, Hormozy builds a business on the same computer you and I do, sitting down at his desk.